All right, guys, episode 20, Kings of Monaco, coming at you. Hey, it's been a few weeks. We had a couple of tech issues, but we are back. We figured it out, and we're ready to rock and roll again, right? Again. So we've got some great we've got some great topics to go over tonight. I'm sure anybody who has even looked at a screen, mainly your phone, knows that there's some kind of drone something or another going on. We're going to hit up that topic, and hopefully we can hear from you what you think about it, but we've got our own thoughts on that. Broncos are rocking right now. We're going to talk about them and the Colorado sports, all the other sports that are going on here locally in the Denver metro area, well, in Colorado in general. And then this one's going to be fun. What movie is most like your life? When you sent this out, I couldn't wait to talk about it because we all see that movie or that Netflix series now or whatever, and we're like, I kind of relate to that, right? And then can one good or bad erase all? Can one act of greatness and or mistake change everything? So how you guys doing?
Good,
doing
man.
Great, man.
Missed you guys.
Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it? It's like, it's funny because what was it just last week? We were trying to do this and we had technical difficulties. LeBeau's cussing at us, and we're just
we actually did our longest podcast last week. I think it was almost 3 hours, but it was all us trying to figure out why we couldn't get the podcast system to work, our new platform, which we were going to try out, but we're back.
We're back in action.
We need to recruit an IT guy to be part of the crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, all right, and you have extra
Full time,
and you're willing to do it for kudos,
peanuts,
then
for stale nacho chips,
and you could turn it around overnight. Then I mean, there's it's not a lot to ask, but hey, let us know, right? But we had a lot of fun. So we haven't missed one another, but we've missed all of you out there on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you listen to this from. We missed putting some of our content out there because this is something that we've learned to really love and embrace, and we're going to keep doing this for as long as God allows us to, because it's just a way for us to connect. And it's how it started. Like, we all grew up together. We've known each other literally our whole lives. And this is something that is very near and dear to our hearts. So we are so grateful for each of you that listen and comment and all that fun stuff. So what do you say we get into it, fellas?
Let's do it.
All right.
For sure.
Let's talk about the drones. There have been some drones in the night. These are coming out at night, and Carlos had talked to me about them. So Carlos, before we even start this conversation, do you know anything about the drones?
So there are different types of drones, as you know, different applications. The ones that fascinate me the most are the ones that we don't know about, right? So I think LeBeau and I
we're talking about.
You know what's going on right now with the drones in New Jersey in particular?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. We just no. we just didn't. I didn't.
We didn't want you to go off on the types of drones that are out there right now.
Man, I have a whole list. I prepared a whole script.
Well,
yeah, you prepared the wrong script.
I'm just kidding. I didn't prepare a script. Go ahead. Tell me what's going on in New Jersey.
Well, apparently there are some drones that come out every night, and they're not just in New Jersey, by the way. Yeah. And it's been happening recently ever since, I think, if memory serves me right, since November 18th. So this is like going on a month that these giant drones have been seen starting in New Jersey and now kind of everywhere. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but LeBeau, over kind of by where I live, there were some over Southlands and a couple of nights ago, some of these drones. And
oh, really?
Yeah. And they
where were you? I'm sorry, where were you?
Near Southlands Mall?
Oh. Sorry.
So freaking loud when you said that. Where are you? All right. Where were you at this app? There were some people that posted it online, and it looked exactly like what everybody else is seeing, but they're these huge drones that are coming out at night. And as far as we can tell, or people can tell that have been monitoring them, some of them are as big as pickup trucks, right? They don't emit heat, which is very strange. When other drones try to fly up at people who have drones and want to go monitor them or try to get an eye on them, they have interruption problems and there's some issues. Again, this is me regurgitating what I've heard on the news. And there's all kinds of speculations as to what they are. The government is saying, don't worry about it. Everybody is starting to worry about it. And it's become an issue and nobody has answers, basically. There's been some that have come over some of the oceans or I don't know what body of water, but there have been some by the ocean. But again, they were first noticed over New Jersey and over some of the more important areas of the New Jersey area. What are you guys hearing about this? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I don't think New Jersey is that important, number one. Secondly, I'm just kidding, New Jersey. You're very important, especially with Gym Tan Laundry. But
you're gonna get fist pumped right in the face.
I think that this is one of those things where the government probably has a lot of information that they've yet to disclose. Nor do I think they necessarily should disclose all of the information that they have. I do believe that national security is best served having some secrets as long as it doesn't infringe
in the skies above
on the rights of the American people, right? So I totally support.
I was going to play one of the videos. I didn't realize it was.
We can tell.
I totally support some level of what's the word? Confidentiality, right? Now, as it pertains to the drones, I think that if it's flying over residential areas, that's a very tricky and very sensitive area, right? Because right to privacy becomes, something that comes up. What are they looking for that we should know or shouldn't know, right? So I do think that some information should come out, maybe not all of it. So we'll see what the U.S. government, what type of position they take in the near future. I totally get where they're coming from, though. If it is a top secret thing that they're working on, obviously, they're not going to disclose everything to us. So,
I have a suggested reason why this is happening. Aren't they like exploring on delivery of like Amazon goods and stuff, the UPS goods, like through drones? Like, could this be that why the government is like, oh no big deal, because they're testing their delivery system? Like,
they would have said something about that.
Yeah,
that's more of a cut and dry. Hey, it's just Amazon kind of doing research.
But what about like self-driving cars and all that stuff? That stuff is out there, and a lot of people don't know that that's happening. Like,
I think that's pretty open, dude. I'm gonna pull on the spectrum of I think this is a dangerous situation for the government to just kind of hold back on. Oh, nothing to see here. Go ahead, go home. Don't look out your windows. It's all right. You'll be all right. When there's points where these drones are flying over military base areas, they had to actually shut down one of the airports in New York for a few hours because the drones were flying in that area. But also, there's all kinds of theories out there. Of course, everybody goes to the alien theory right away, and that's one thing I hate about social media, because right away you get something like this happen, and that's why I wish the government would like at least give something. Hey, these are something that we know about. We're doing research. We'll update you. But they're saying, oh, it's not us. It's nothing to see here. Everything's okay. There's not a threat. And I believe when something like this happens, to me, it's a threat when you don't know anything about it. It's threatening when they're saying there's nothing to see here and there's a threat. And also, here's the other theory, which I'm like, it's weird. They're saying there's these, they're called plasmoids. Did you guys hear about these? There's these orbs that are in the sky. They're like these circular orbs. They look like these electronic balls that are in the sky. And this, dude, it's not just social media content creators that are. It was actual, like, one of the news stations are looking up at it. They're filming it, and it's just a circle orb that's just a ball of light. And they were showing one of the drones like going into this orb, and as soon as it got within close range, the drone just dropped to the ground. So, and these plasmoids, they're defined as they're found in space, and they're defined as natural, much large astrophysical scale, and they're in the sun's atmosphere. But they're saying that these plasmoids have come into our atmosphere, and that's what they say, that they're possibly, these drones are here trying to get on the level of these plasmoids, which, like I said, I don't know if this is, I mean, because these are things that they say these plasmoids are actually living like things. You know, it's kind of the sun is a plasmoid. It's this huge ball of energy, you know. That's kind of what a plasmoid is. And they're saying that these plasmoids are at the level where the drones are at now. And so it's kind of a danger. And they're saying that radiation levels are higher than usual around these areas. And there's also the speculation of nuclear, that these droids are looking for nuclear spots that have been brought in from.
Well, they did talk about losing a nuclear warhead from Ukraine.
Yeah,
and that it was being brought over to the US, and then all of a sudden nobody knows where it's at. So now they're saying the drones are out at night basically scanning, trying to look for where it is, because could be a huge threat. And if that was it, and they did say, I mean, you know, it's one of those things, they did say we would all panic, right? Like what it is for me, same, it's cause for concern. I have a clip of them asking Trump about it. If you guys want me to show you that, I could show. Let me see if this works.
I think that if they did tell us that it was out there, and they said, "Hey, you guys, we need to find this nuclear warhead," I'm pretty sure that the normal public would find that, bro. Like the dude from McDonald's would probably find the warhead somewhere. You know what I mean? I mean, they found that guy that shot the CEO guy, right? Like, they found that guy in a matter of hours.
Yeah, you know, man, I got to tell you, it smells a lot like conspiracy theory.
Yeah, this sounds crazy.
I know,
man.
but
And I just have to tell you, it's one of those, and I know that we probably fall on different sides of the fence as it pertains to this type of information. And I'm in agreement with you all. I think that if there is imminent danger, we have the right to know so that we can protect our homes and our families. I totally agree with you there.
Protect them from what, though? I mean, what are we going to do, dude? If there is some like intimate stuff happening, like what really are you going to do?
Well, you know, like if you need to, you know,
fortify your roof, like I don't know.
If you need to prepare, if you need to evacuate, right? If you need to do something to protect yourself, then you have the right to do that. But this stuff, you know, that you are explaining to me just seems like otherworldly stuff that it seems made up to me.
It's not though.
There's a lot going on with.
Like, I'm telling you, those orbs are in the sky. They filmed. Look them up on your phone right now. Orbs in the sky.
AI.
Let me show you.
Dude, they are not AI.
Let me show you this clip. We'll react to this real quick.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And
okay, there's that.
Now the frustrations of the.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my sentiment of like I really believe there's no way they don't know what's going on. I mean I as much as even you've said, Carlos, that you believe in our government of what they kind of there's a lot of smart people in the government that I believe they know what's going on. They
Well,
just
I'm not suggesting that they don't know. I guess we're talking about three different things here. Number one is, is the government trustworthy? Number two, what's going on with drones? And number three, what are these balls of energy in the sky, right? So, in my opinion, yes, the government, from time to time do need to keep confidential information confidential. I mean, there's a role and a place for that, right? In the interest of national security. Number two, are there drones? Probably. Does the government know where they're from? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They probably know where they are. It wasn't a surprise. It came out after an investigation was completed with the Chinese balloon that the government was never surprised with it, right? They knew exactly what was going on. They strategically addressed it. They were able to extract intelligence from the balloon by the tactics that they took addressing the balloon. It's probably the same thing here,
how
right?
long did it take them to do that? It like the thing like traveled halfway across the country before they even pulled that
Yeah.
thing down.
But yeah, when they shot it down, then they went and got the footage to see what they were recording, though, Vince.
Well,
They
dude,
let it
what
do
they
that.
did was they followed the
They
balloon.
let it
So
do
the
that.
balloon was not traveling by itself across the country unmonitored. That's what the media wants you to think.
I know, but
What actually happened is
still,
the U.S. military was following the balloon, extracting the information that it was actually trying to get. So,
but they
it
didn't
was
release
all,
any of that information till like the end of their research of this balloon. At first, people were just like, "Okay, what's going on?" I mean, but it's like with anything. It's like there's so many. They're so regulated on telling us what they want to tell us, and are we going to cause mass hysteria? I mean, I guess that's understandable.
I think
You
that's
know,
what it comes down to. I think if you heard during that little interview too, they said, "Were you briefed on it?" And he said, "I refuse to comment on that." Like, does he
yeah.
know? He might know. He was in that position before, so he knows what he should know and shouldn't know. Right? He was president before, so
Well,
he
he's
knows.
probably thinking, I'm not in government yet, so you guys need to ask your leaders right now.
Right, right. But again, if anybody were to make the announcement, "Hey, our water system's going to get, you know, there's bacteria coming or whatever," there would be mass hysteria. There would be no water bottles left. There would be, so they can't necessarily cause that either. But that doesn't mean something crazy might be going on. That's where I'm at with this.
yeah, my here's my problem with all of this narrative is that the American people for too long have been victims of fear mongering for so long, dude. Fear mongering has become such a powerful weapon in politics that it's ridiculous, right? And so now we've become accustomed to being such skeptics of just about everything that we see and everything that we read. It's not to say that you should automatically trust everything that comes your way, but at the same time, I don't think that you should automatically go into DEFCON 10 seeing, something on the internet. How many times have we seen fake stuff on the internet that the news actually picks up, right? So I hesitate to take this much further because of that. We don't have any information. It's dangerous to make assumptions, and it's
CBS Sports HQ.
Sorry.
I think you perpetuate the movement of creating fear, whether it's intentional or unintentional, when you comment on stuff like this, because we don't really even know what it is, whether it's even a thing, right? It could be special effects for some reason.
You know what's funny is somebody tells the story about this stuff, and you're like, oh, but then they put a little music to it, and everybody's like, oh, and then you put AI to it, and everybody's like, ah. It's like, it's crazy because social media allows you to tell these stories that are so far-fetched, but I mean, if you're a good storyteller, then everybody's like so captivated and then they start scrolling down yours. I mean, it's all to get clickbait, you know?
Yeah, it is. It totally is. And I just I'm in a place personally where I have a great deal of sensitivity to stuff like that because it's been weaponized so many times
So do I, man.
that it's like, really, man, like
Drives me nuts.
it's not the government is not out to get you. They're not out they're not out to sabotage your well-being. They benefit from you being healthy. They benefit from you being wealthy. They're not going to compromise that, right? So I just, when people start talking about all of these theories without having facts, it's like we're putting the cart way before the horse here, and it's really doing more damage than good, right? So if there are questions to be asked,
fly a drone over a park or a concert without being arrested.
Yeah, you'll be in trouble.
Come on, like and nobody could explain these truck size. That's where the.
So it's
what I
funny
mean?
because I'm in the process of getting my license right now, and I've been flying my drone, and I'm like, great, I'm gonna be flying my drone out here in Florida. These Floridians, I mean, they'll pull out their gun for anything. My drone's gonna be shot down before I even start really doing some real work with it.
I agree with Carlos. There's a lot of weaponizing and fear mongering.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you, dude. But it is weird. It is weird that
here's the other thing that
It's
I'll
weird
say
that
about
it's a truck-sized drone, dude. Like, come on, what do you need for that?
But
Like, I'm
here's the
telling
other
you, it's
thing.
got to be that delivery crap. I guarantee it's the delivery crap, bro.
Let me make a comment here. So when you're going through an investigation, you can't comment on things while you're investigating facts. Part of the reason I would venture to think that we're not getting a lot of facts is because the government is investigating. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're hiding something. It means that they're trying to figure it out too.
Dude, I know, but they said from the get-go, this isn't us. Like these aren't ours.
they are saying it's not them.
Yeah, they're saying it's not them.
But that's what I'm saying. So they are investigating what's going on. So you can't ask what's in front of you if they don't have all the facts.
So they're maybe it's the Defense Department. It's not them directly, but it's a contractor, a part of the Defense Department. That is, or the FAA department. It's not initially them, but we know who it is. It's just not directly the government. Yeah, but it's a subcontractor of the government, the Defense Department, whatever. It's like, come on, just I mean, at least I don't know. Yeah, we're researching something right now. They don't have to say it. Just tell us, hey, yeah, we are researching things right at the moment. We'll give you further information when we get more into it. When we get more facts, like you said, whatever,
One more video real quick, and then we'll move.
Yeah, go for it.
Ruslan, he is a Christian content creator. He had a pretty good introduction to one of these to what's going on. Let's check it out real quick here.
Everyone has been freaking out about the documented sightings of UFOs across New York and New Jersey. People have speculated that perhaps these are alien crafts because the government has denied knowing what they are. But as a core function of government, they're lying. Experts with boots on the ground are starting to lean to what some may call a more naturalistic explanation, coming to conclusions on why these are not alien crafts and why it's unlikely that they are foreign governments spying on us. So in this video, we're going to look at what some of the speculation is from these professionals and uncover what it is that the government potentially may not want us to know. And even Joe Rogan said this is the first video about this drone situation that even has him concerned. And I'll have a scriptural tie-in that I think will bring a lot of perspective to this conversation. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Airspace. Stuff Connected. Subscribe. Okay, so there have been dozens, maybe hundreds of drones all across the East Coast covering very sensitive airspace. Stuff connected to military bases, even getting shut down. Okay, so as of late, this has been put out by New York Governor Kathy Hochul in a Saturday statement, said runways were closed at the New York Stewart Airport for about an hour Friday night due to a nearby drone activity and called on Congress to strengthen oversight of drones. So these are actual governors and elected officials that are now obviously concerned about this. It says that here that he urged Congress to pass the UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act, empowering local enforcements to do more to counter drones. Now, remember, they're saying some of these drones are like the size of pickup trucks. So these aren't like little drones that you can go get at Best Buy and put up in the sky. These are pretty massive things. And there's even been reports of when you try to fly your own drone up to them, that those drones end up getting shut down or there's like electrical issues. So all of this seems super suspect. So there's been sightings reported all across Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and it has the lawmakers, people in government, demanding answers. Okay, so we don't really know what's going on, and the government's pretending they don't know what's going on, and these elected officials are saying they don't know what's going on. And so the question is, do they really not know what is going on? Here's what Trump tweeted on his own platform, Truth Social, on Friday, saying,
we went through that already. But I mean, what do you guys think? Let's wrap this conversation up.
I feel like my opinion is pretty clear. I just feel like there's not enough to know right now, and so there's not a lot to share. How long have these sightings been going on? Do you guys know?
For a month.
For about a month.
So, there probably isn't a whole lot to share that would benefit the American public at this point. Whether or not the government knows what's going on, I am absolutely convinced that they do. I don't think that the Department of Defense, the CIA, the FBI, I don't think that in any shape or form that they are, unaware of the origins or the purpose for these vehicles. Part of the reason why they may not be disclosing information again is because they're building out an investigation or trying to defend against whatever is going on, right, in the best interest of the American people. I think it's going to boil down to how each individual feels about the government, right? If you have a sense that your government is hell-bent on hurting you, stealing from you, taking from you, treating you unfair, then I think you're going to lean towards the side that is, they're hiding something from me. They're going to try and spy on me. They're trying to get one up on me, right? And this is not fair. They're infringing on my rights. If you're on the other side of the fence and you believe that your government is actually doing a decent job, not necessarily saying that everything is working perfectly, but they are not out to get you, the American public, that they are not out to harm you, then you're probably going to say, okay, well, give them a shot, right? Help them, or not help them, but allow them to pull together the facts that they can then give you in a nice, complete package. That's really what it's going to boil down to, is how each individual feels about the government, how they internalize this whole situation.
Sure. Sure. No, that's a great assessment. I just think that if somebody, like where I work, if every once in a while there's an instructor teaching a class with a group full of people, and every once in a while there'll be like some creepy person outside like filming them, and everyone will feel uncomfortable and immediately we'll go tell this guy, stop recording. Right? Well, like stop. So if somebody's outside your window and they're recording your house and what you do with your kids and what you like, you're going to do something about it. So that's what's kind of strange to me. Somebody's recording us, they're recording sensitive areas, and nobody is doing anything about it, nor will they take responsibility, or do they even know what it is? So, I mean, that's sus.
Yeah, like, I have to tell you, I think that I'm a pretty interesting guy. I think I'm awesome, actually, but I don't think that I am that interesting to think that the government wants to film what I'm doing.
I thought you were going to be like, if those drones were going to be anywhere, they would be over my house because I'm so interesting.
No, but we're not saying that they want to know what our activity specifically, but the very fact that they're just monitoring something. And I'm just giving the illustration. If somebody's monitoring your home, this is our land, this is our country. Like, what are you doing about it to protect us? Like,
I bet you sooner than later they're gonna have some crazy militia people like start shooting these things out of the sky, bro. If it doesn't,
there already are people that have tried.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
But I just would like to know, especially with these plasmoid orb things that they're talking about.
you're talking about on that one. That one's
dude.
neat.
I
Plasma.
it's I don't know, man.
Pwing, pwing. Or what's that noise? I haven't heard of that one. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. This is good. We can keep going.
Plasmoid schmashmoid.
Well, what is that noise that the guns make? Pwing,
Your
pwing.
head looks like a plasmoid.
Your mic is too loud.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's peeking out just a
You're
hair. All
distorted.
right, let's
That's
move on.
nice.
Let's talk about our Broncos. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Where's LeBeau?
Woo. Favorite play from the game, guys. Ready? Go, LeBeau. Favorite play from the game.
I didn't really get to watch the game, honestly. Tell you the
Oh
truth.
my
What?
god!
Oh,
Hey,
dude.
when the interception happened when they did that double reverse
Yeah.
throw.
That
And-
was
Yeah,
my
I've
favorite.
seen the highlight of that.
Oh.
Come,
Oh, I gotta
live.
find that. You guys talk. I'm gonna find that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to do the recap of me actually watching, but not watching it live, of course that play was the best, bro. Like everything about it was great. Benito has been amazing all season long. He's been
He's
a
balling
terror.
out, dude.
This guy's like got as many sacks as Von Miller, but not as much credit. Like this guy's ripping it up. I guarantee you, this guy is like taking a drug test after every game, bro. Because this guy's balling out. He's like on fire.
Depoy boy.
Quarterbacks, dude. And that was like the icing on the cake for his season right there, catching that backwards pass interception, bro. That was sick.
That was
when was
so
the last time you've seen that happen in sports? You know what I mean?
You know what makes that play special is that he was double teamed initially on that play. If you watch the film, he was double teamed. They stuffed him as he was going to put some pressure on the quarterback, and the play kept going. And he noticed that the guy was going to pass it back. It just his intuition, and he kept playing, which is what makes him so good. Is that he doesn't stop once he feels like he's not getting through. He plays through the whistle, right? So it was awesome.
The speed of him, his reaction time from when the guy threw the ball, it was like a good 5 yards that he like turned it on, and it was just it
was like a pass to him, like he laid out right in front of him, dude.
You know, in the combine when they have those drills where they're catching the ball, like going side to side, catching the ball, dude, that's what he did. He just caught it perfect, boom, to the house.
Yeah, that
you got
was
it,
dope.
Joe.
Did you see when he did the Marshawn Lynch into the end zone too? Like that was the icing on the cake, bro. Like,
Yeah,
for
he
real.
got that flag too.
I don't have that one, but I'm going to show you another one that's just. as
Did
good.
you hear when Pat Surtain ran over to him when he went in the end zone? He's like, "Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?" He's like,
Yes,
"No
sir.
way."
Dude, this is the wrong game.
Yeah, that's the
That's the Browns game.
Browns game.
All right, that's why we.
There you go.
2 weeks in a row.
This guy, but look at him though. He loses his little white little thing there.
Dude, how do you not I mean his odds for defensive player of the year have to be like
There it's 1 and 2. Like he's towards the top there.
him and TJ Watt are right.
Yeah, TJ Watt. And,
they say Pat Surtain's right there too.
I mean,
He
is
has to
good.
be.
He's a shutout
He has
corner,
to be in
bro.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other awesome play that I like, but was kind of scary too, was a Pat Surtain interception. When he got hit and when he didn't get up, I knew immediately it was.
Which they said he was the full participant in practice today. So,
Oh, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news. But yeah, that Pat Surtain interception was dope too.
Since we're on Colorado sports, before you find the clip, Joe, let's talk about all Colorado sports real quick. Let's give it up for Travis Hunter. Of course, we knew he was going to win the Heisman.
Mr. Heisman.
So that he brought that back to you.
hey,
So,
dude, did you hear Tom Brady? Hater, bro.
What did
He
he
said-
say?
He said he doesn't deserve that award.
What an idiot.
no
Because-
way.
Yeah, he thinks Ashton Jeanty got robbed. Gentry. No, is it Gentry? Oh, yeah.
Genty.
Genty, yeah.
Gentry.
So
There's no R. There's no gentry.
Genty. Yeah. So I honestly think here's my thought. I do think Travis deserved this award because there's nobody who's done it like he has with the playing time that he has. But you look at Ashton Jeanty's numbers, the only thing that would make him where I would be like, okay, he deserved it, is if he actually, which I don't think is going to happen, but if he actually took his team and won the national championship, because the effectiveness of his play to get his team that far, because he's in the playoffs right now, they're the number 4 seed in the playoffs, and it's all on him. And dude, I think I do respect, dude. I would love to have that dude on the Broncos. Like if
Yeah.
they drafted that guy, I mean, just think how dangerous.
Let's check it out right here. I
Here we
found it.
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Run game or quarterback run game. They set up Mitchell. It's going to be a double pass. And
Damn!
it's Bonito.
That was so tight, dude.
Unbelievable.
That was so tight.
They've had
That's fun.
I have to say though, I was pretty depressed when that guy, what was his name, the Colts running back, ran that 40-yard touchdown in before they called it back. I was pretty sad about that. I was like, well,
because he dropped the ball before the goal line, I guess.
yeah, but before we knew that, right, they were up 20 points or 10 or 17 points, I think.
Yeah. That could have been the turning point in the momentum of the game if that would have stood. I mean, ultimately the score was what it was, but it could have shifted the energy and the momentum for sure if that would have been a score.
Yeah. It was an ugly game to watch, right? Because the offense definitely didn't perform their best game. And if we didn't have such a prominent defense and Mims, right, and really the whole special teams, I think the outcome probably would have been different. But
dude,
because we do have
But it
such
wasn't.
But dude, that's what makes it so great about this team in particular, because we're finding different ways to win. And dude, these past 8 years, we couldn't find different ways to win. We were just losers all around. It was like all 3 phases,
All
losers,
around losers.
dude.
Now, with that said, Kansas City is not finding ways to win. They are just freaking lucky.
Lucky.
Can we all agree with that? Can we all agree?
Yeah,
with
they're just
Uh,
lucky.
that? They're not like they're in their mind. Oh, we found another way to win. No, you
Their
found a way.
day's coming, bro.
Flip the coin and it keeps landing on heads. That's
Yeah.
all. Like at some point, it's gonna land on tails because
So-
you suck.
So
Sorry.
you know what's crazy right now? If the Broncos went to the if the playoffs started today, the Broncos would be playing Pittsburgh Steelers. And dude, the storybook, it's like, I mean, it couldn't get any more perfect. Us against Russ, Peyton against Russ. I mean, how much more perfect can it be?
The problem is the Steelers are a pretty solid team, man.
Yeah,
That's
they
not a team to go in and be like, it's going to be a wash. That's definitely going to be a battle at that point, though.
it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
if
but
that
they
does
would.
happen.
We have the number 1 corner just blanketing Pickens. I mean, I don't know, man.
I think Bonito would just rip Russ apart, bro. I'd love to see Bonito just slam that fool on the ground, dude.
And
Give me my money.
We're truly a different team. We've just gotten better and better every week. I mean, even through the learning process. I mean, you got to think Bo still threw 3 touchdowns. He had 3 interceptions,
Yeah.
but still threw 3 touchdowns. And dude, when's the last time they were saying last year? I think we had 1 game. Or no, we didn't have the whole season. We didn't score like over 24 points. And dude, we just 4 games in a row over 24 points. This last month.
Dude, Kansas City has not scored over 30 in any of their games.
I know.
They
yeah.
suck.
Their defense is good.
I'm actually looking forward to playing them, even though they're probably not going to play their starters. I do want to get that dub. But I'll tell you guys, if we play the way we played Sunday against a Pittsburgh team or against someone that's actually better than Indianapolis, we lose. That's just a reality, dude. Like, you have to be good in all phases of the game. You have to execute. You can't expect a W, if your offense performs that way. If you get 3 picks, dude, that's like a nail in the coffin, man. Like,
no, but when your defense gets 5 turnovers, So,
Yeah, but again, I don't think that the defense is going to get those types of turnovers against a more seasoned quarterback, right? I mean,
Correct.
what was his
Yeah,
name? Robinson clearly had way less snaps than Bo Nix did, right? So it's
He only
like,
started 13 games.
yeah.
in college.
So when you think about the
61.
amount of football that he played even in college, it was a lot less than Bo Nix, which was part of the appeal for Bo Nix,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I mean that we don't it would the outcome have been different if he didn't fumble that ball in the end zone? I don't know. But dude, it's right now it's one of those things where man, we're just finding ways to win and we just didn't do that in the past. And it's just good to see as a Broncos fan. I mean, it's good to see them just rolling.
It's fun to watch for sure. It's awesome. I'm
And
going to go out and get a
we're
Benito jersey.
so so we're still on Denver. What do you guys think about the Nuggets? They're finally getting some momentum, getting rolling. Jamal Murray,
AG's back, man. So he brings like all that energy, all that
Who?
like grit. AG
yeah.
he brings all that extra energy,
But
that extra like toughness, defense.
You guys just watched this last night against Sacramento.
Yeah, that was a
They-
crazy ending.
Yeah, Jamal hit a clutch bucket to end the game. So Jamal's finally starting to get his groove back, dude. Dude, I was ready to like call it quits on the dude because man, it's just like the guy's like so lackadaisical about his plan, and it's just so frustrating. It's like, especially when you think you're like, I'm out here working. This dude's getting paid $230 million to bounce a freaking basketball.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you,
He's just all
if Denver sports are fun to watch for sure. We have nothing but champions. It seems like, right?
yeah. For
Okay.
sure. They moved the Denver Bronco game to the 28th.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that.
TSU, CU will be playing in their bowl games, and the Broncos will be playing on the same day.
All on the same
You
day.
know, another topic that we may have to hit up at some other point. And I say this because it is a little bit frustrating as a Coloradan trying to watch local sports, in particular the NBA. The NBA ratings, I don't know if you guys knew this, are down 48% since 2012 as far as just them watch, because you can't freaking watch it anywhere. It's like they're behind a paywall. They're behind this. They're supporting things that don't have anything to do with NBA. Like there's all this stuff, and people just get turned off by all of the clout. Like it's seriously, you have to pay for it to watch a local game. You don't have to do that with the NFL. You don't have to do that with sports.
It's not only that, it's the time slots that they play them. Even here on the East Coast, dude, it's 10 o'clock by the time a freaking game starts.
8:30 tip off.
I'm like
10:30
so I'm
there.
there for 1 o'clock to watch. So I'm like watching the highlights and everything in the morning because
You're old.
Because I'm old, yeah. Dude, I'll say it. I am.
But
Dude,
I would
if
love.
I'm old, you're old.
I think, yeah, I know. Well, Carlos is the one that.
Hey, easy.
But I feel like we should prep a little bit more for that and dig into that because there is a lot behind why it is down 48%. That's almost half, like in the past, like a little over a decade. So we'll talk about that another time. But either way, Colorado sports are 10.
And can I just say my daughter MJ made me super proud the other night. She says, "Dad, I would really love to go watch an Avalanche game." And I was like, "Yeah, really, honey?" She's like, "Yeah, I'd love to go watch them, and hopefully they fight." Because she heard that they fight in hockey. I was like,
funny.
"Yes, let's do it. Let's do it."
So I wanted to this next subject I kind of wanted to talk about because we were talking about the Broncos game about Jonathan Taylor fumbling that ball into the when he entered the end zone. Dude, how do those things define you, you know? And what's the next subject?
Oh, are you talking about the can the one good or bad erase all?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that first if we want to, and then we'll come back to the movie.
So we're gonna go here instead. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I just was thinking because
That's why you were trying to relate a movie to dropping the ball off.
Oh no. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Never mind.
Yeah, but don't you think because I was thinking about him this that linebacker for the Devondre Campbell from the 49ers. Did you see this guy? the guy who just walked out of the
Did he just take off the field?
dude, he took off because they needed him to come play, and he wasn't. They benched him because the other guy who was injured last year, he came back in. While that Devondre Campbell was like, dude, you asked me to be a starter, now you're benching me, and they were like, hey, well, we need you right now because the guy got banged up a little, and he's like, nah, I'm good, and just left like at the end of the third quarter, just walked.
Yeah, he pulled a, what's his name? The guy that took off his jersey. What's his name? And that was in Tampa Bay.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. He pulled it. Antonio Brown just left in the middle of the game.
So, and dude, this Devondre Campbell, he's a Pro Bowl linebacker. Like, did all these things for his team, just like Jonathan Taylor, Pro Bowl running back. But then you do something stupid, like you drop a ball before you get into the end zone. You just erase your team's momentum. That Devondre Campbell, like that probably was such a sideline distraction about him walking off. Everybody's like, what the heck's going on? San Francisco ends up losing that game. And I just think about that stuff. It's like, but you think about things that you've seen in your life along the way. You see people, they do one bad thing. Also, you see somebody who's done something really good after they've lived such a horrible life, and they kind of turn things around. I mean, which way do you think is a more effective view just from human nature? Would you guys say the bad or the good?
Yeah, in human nature, Vince, like it's the one bad thing messes up your whole entire like character is typically where you're seeing this happen a lot, as opposed to the one good thing. So let's talk about one good thing, and we're talking about sports. Like one good thing is that Mike Vick, when he had gotten in trouble for fighting the dogs and doing all that stuff, now he's back. He's broadcasting now. He just got offered a job at one of the universities to go and coach. So he's had to do multiple good things in order to turn around the one bad thing that he had going on. And then you want to talk like about Brett Favre. Like, look at all the things that Brett Favre has done that has been good, like the championships, the games, the things that he's brought, the people of Green Bay. And then he goes and messes up, and he takes that money from the elderly people and misappropriates funds and this and that. And now people are calling him out for that. Like,
wasn't he showing his wiener to some chicks?
Yeah, he was doing some of that kind of stuff too. But one of the biggest things was that he was misappropriating funds and that he was stealing money from old people. So I think society tends to see that one bad thing that you do has a lot more weight than it, as opposed to the multiple and the good things that you do in your life and what's going on with that. What do you guys think?
There are probably a couple of lenses to look through, right? There's certainly the personal lens, the introspective lens. Like when you look inside yourself, when you are the one making the mistake. The other lens is the public lens, right? What the world sees. Naturally, LeBeau, you hit the nail on the head. I think the world is going to focus more so on the negative things because they hold you up to a certain level, level of regard, right? Respect. And when you betray that trust, or when you let down that trust, people are very callous, right? They're not willing to let you let them down again. So they're likely just to dismiss you until you can prove that you're trustworthy, which takes a lot longer to develop. Then there's, the introspective piece. And that's the piece that I really want to focus on, because I think that without a doubt, every human being is going to fail. Without a doubt, every human being is going to make a mistake, whether you do it in front of thousands or millions of people, like, public figures, like athletes or actors or politicians, pastors, right? Or if you make that mistake in a smaller circle, your family, your kids, your work colleagues, right? You're gonna make the mistake. I'm hoping that whoever's watching this broadcast understands that introspectively, like within yourself, you do have the ability to bounce back. When you think of anybody who has ever been great besides Jesus, everybody has built on those failures, right? So they shouldn't define you. They shouldn't define your self-identity. And oftentimes they do. And that's the tragedy, I think, oftentimes when people become that mistake their entire life. So anyway, those are the two filters that I would say, you should focus on. I, personally have made a lot of mistakes in my life, and some very public, others private. But without a doubt, I feel like those mistakes have made me better. They have made me more resilient. They have made me wiser, if you will, right? And it's those mistakes ultimately that end up helping you grow the most. I don't know that we were meaning to get that deep into it, but that's kind of where my mind went, as you started talking about those.
That's an amazing perspective, Carlos, because I completely agree with you, man. Like want, just like you said, I want anyone listening, anyone watching, anyone that's a part of this program, I want them to understand and realize that, you can't live and die by that mistake or that thing that you thought you did was so wrong or whatever it may be. Like carrying that against yourself, for your whole life. That's not where it needs to be. That's not your fate. That's not your divine intuition and whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up and said it in that perspective too.
Like I think the recent mistake of you wearing that sweater today, I was thinking,
bro, I have the vid.
Hey, I
love that sweater, man.
I 100%
I love the
agree.
sweater too, man.
Well, we didn't know if your camera was glitching or if it was the.
Oh, Carlos. Okay.
I thought you threw it in with the whites and had all that bleach.
No, it's pretty dope, dude.
Yeah,
but I want to just build off of what you said, because I don't think we can, knowing each other as long as we have, enter into a conversation like this, knowing the mistakes we've all made and not go a little bit deep with it. I think that's going to happen when we start talking. And I love that you said that too, Carlos. I think I want to add to that and build onto it a little bit, because you hit the nail on the head when you said you've certainly done it, we've done it, but it's made you this, right? It's turned you into this. You've become more wise because of that, or whatever the mistake was. But not everybody lets that happen either. And so as much, and the way I look at it is I see that there's about 3 different reactions we can have. I mean, generally speaking, there's a lot, but you can be the person that makes that big mistake, absorbs, and owns it, and then comes out with it, and you're somebody new, and everybody loves a redemption story, right? Everybody loves the story where, man, that really changed him. He owned up to it. He apologized. He's a different person. I think of like Carl Lentz, who was the pastor of the New York Hillsong Church, who had the affair. And this was about 5-6 years ago now. He basically, was one of the most rock star pastors ever, was found out, went into recovery for the past 4 or 5 years. Now he has a Lights Out podcast, or Lights On podcast. And he audibly and visibly looks like a different person. Like he doesn't have that same little charismatic bent about him when he used to preach. You could hear the humility come out of his words, if that makes sense. And you believe him. You believe that, man, this is a changed man. And they're actually talking about the secrets, the shame, the scandal, how they survived, how their marriage made it. And you respect that, right? But then you have people who might never say anything, and they ride off into the sunset. And I feel like those are the people that's what you remember about them. You're like, oh, it's the guy that was whatever, that did this or that. And you don't, you just remember that because you never saw the other side of that. Right. And then you have the person that allowed that to define them, and they're forever depressed and won't come out of a shell. Like, I think there's different ways of that reacting. But Carlos, you're talking about the thing that we all should probably try to do and learn from it and be better as a result of it, because we all are going to make the mistakes. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, listen to Carlos, man. The introspective, like, you are not bound by those mistakes that you made.
Right.
We've all made them. Grow a pair, grow up, grow out of it, pull yourself together. That's not your life. You made mistakes. You can move on from that.
Yeah, own it and move on.
Yeah,
own it and move on.
Every successful man, woman has said that their successes were built off of their losses, and
Everyone.
it's just a true statement, because you're going to have losses and mistakes in your life. And that's that's kind of what we beat up those losses so much sometimes. I mean, dude, that I'm sure even throughout the week, over these last couple days, dude, Jonathan Taylor's been getting just beat up about that mistake. I mean, and he knows it. I mean, he's probably beating up himself the worst about it.
Yeah, he's hardest on himself.
But it's like, man, just move on, recover, because it's like, man, those things are going to happen. You're going to make stupid mistakes in your life. Everybody does. Those people who are criticizing him have made stupid mistakes that I guess they forget that they make these mistakes because, as we always say, it's better to defame than uplift, in times of struggle,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would even say, and I think LeBeau really said something, that I think is important to highlight here. When you think about moving on, when you think about allowing these mistakes to make you better, it really does take a certain level of not caring about what anybody else thinks.
mhm.
Right?
Yep.
Like grow a pair,
Yeah.
get yourself some courage.
Yes.
And go back outside, because it doesn't matter what other people think. And sometimes, that's easier said than done, but you do have to have the ability to shut off the rest of the world's opinions about you and be able to move on in your actual identity. Right. So I'm glad that LeBeau said that.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been in the place where I've made mistakes in my life and beat myself up day after day over those mistakes and thought like, I couldn't pull myself out. And man, it's not a place where you want to stay. It's not a place where you want to stay. You just need to, talk to someone, talk to me. Whatever you need to do, pull yourself out and move on.
Yeah, definitely. That's that's one thing that we are definitely all about with this podcast. I mean, any of our friends, any of people who listen to this podcast, we just want to know, hit us up, DM us if you have a struggle or something you just want to like chat with us about. Just hit up a DM and we'll respond back as soon as we can. And whatever we can offer to you guys, that's definitely, because I mean, I'm not the smartest or the sharpest tool in the box, but I got 3 pretty sharp tools here. So
You're a tool.
We were all thinking of a comeback on that one.
yeah, I'm trying to give you guys compliments.
Love the tool.
Tool, you. Ooh.
All right. That's good. That's good. What do we got, LeBeau? Movie that's most like your life. What's a movie that's most like your life? I could think of a few.
Bro, I don't even know movies. I'm gonna pass on this one. I don't even know one movie that would even be close to my life, dude. Like, I have no clue, 0 clue.
I was gonna say, but no.
I was looking for it. Go ahead. If you guys got a movie for my life, go for it too, because I don't even have a clue, man.
The Last of the Mohicans? No.
Never saw it. I wouldn't know.
It's your life.
Rain Man.
Rain Man. All right.
That's messed up, dude. Rain Man.
Smart, bro. You're so freaking smart. That's all I meant by that. That is all I meant by
Joe
that.
just called you. He's like, Joe wants to take you playing cards with him.
The Mask? How about The Mask?
Oh man.
See, dude, you should have picked a movie, bro. You should have picked a movie.
All right.
Hey, now, this is great. This is for my self-reflection, my, what did you call it? Introspective, Carlos. We're good. We're doing great here.
I think there's movies that we can see elements of ourselves in. Definitely, that's why you like a movie, because it's good and it pulls on the emotional strings of your heart when you identify with a certain scene or whatever. But I think for all of us, I think we would all agree, and maybe not, but I'll go for it. The movie Stand By Me when we were kids. That's kind of like how we were. Now, we didn't go those exact incidents didn't happen in our lives. Like, we didn't go find a dead guy, walking along train tracks and run from.
I think we did find a dead guy walking along train tracks.
but we did, at times all say we were going to spend the night at each other's houses and go, be up to no good, and just the whole bond that those guys had, the whole bond that they would, they fought for each other. They each had their own personalities. Some of them got picked on. Some of them were, more of the decision makers. Some of them were like, athletic, whatever. And you have, this group of kids who were willing to risk it all just to be together and live life and have some adventures at an early age. And I feel like, if there was a movie that kind of relates to us, as a group, as a whole of friends, like we could totally say we might not have done that, but we were certainly in the back of a truck with no, where we had to pop out the emergency lights because there was no air coming in. We're traveling in this thing illegally, bouncing around. If there was an accident, we would have been like a freaking marble in a can. There's all kinds of stories. I mean, countless stories, even in this podcast that we've shared over the past 20 episodes now of that kind of thing happening, where not many people get a chance to experience that, what we've experienced, growing up and having all those fun times. So for me, it's a Stand By Me.
Yeah.
That's kind of cheating. So think of another movie for yourself.
Okay. Fair.
For me, my movie hasn't been made yet.
Of course.
You just said he was a cheater, and then you pull that crap.
I know.
Well, no, wait. I've heard rumors that it's being developed. It's the story of a prince that ultimately becomes the master of the universe, which is He-Man. I feel like that movie really depicts my life rather well.
That sweater would say you're more like She-Man. She-Man.
Dude, Battle Cat was the bomb, bro.
Yeah, dude, Battle Cat was the bomb.
A major failure, what you just said there. So let's learn from that and be better.
Just move on. Disrespect.
Move on and not care about what the public thinks.
Keep going.
Vince, do you have a movie that you came up with?
So I wouldn't say it's a in particular movie, because I also thought about Stand By Me as kids. It's just speaking of this podcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not an adult version of Stand By Me, so I'm sure there is. I mean, there's The Hangover. Who would be Alan though?
LeBeau, of course.
I'll be Alan.
LeBeau would be the tiger.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I totally think
Carlos is the monkey.
I was.
It's because I'm brown. Is that why? That's messed
No.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord.
We should have stopped at the last segment.
What happened to Joe?
left.
He's all, I'm out of here. You guys,
What did happen to my camera?
Joe bounced.
I didn't.
he's all, I'm out of here.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
We can
Yes,
still hear you. Can
Like
hear
that.
you.
Let me try to.
Maybe your actual camera turned off, timed out somehow.
Dude.
I thought about, the movie that could align with my life would be La Bamba. I thought La Bamba would be a good depiction of my life. Although obviously I never became as rich or famous as Richie Valens. But
I thought you were going with Bob.
I would make a good Bob, although I don't ride a motorcycle. I thought about that one. I also thought of, have you guys ever seen Under the Same Moon? Have you guys ever seen that movie? That's a really good movie. It's about basically, it's a story of immigrants in California. And it's actually a really, really good movie in how family members are are having very different experiences, right? There's a portion of the family that's here in California in the US, and then the other portion are across the border in Mexico. And the story is very, very touching, but it's an immigrant story, and I can definitely relate to that one. Under the Same Moon. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not to like pull just because you grew up in like heavily in the Mexican culture. But I mean there are a lot of movies that I think, man, they're so relatable because they're kind of your story. But I mean just there's movies, and I'm sure you guys think, I think everybody kind of thinks when they see something like just those movies that are like redemption story movies that kind of there's relatable moments in that movie where like Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, you know you're pushing for a moment in your life so much, and the downtime is really the downtime, and then you redeem yourself. Those, I mean, not like it's directed, like I'm not an NFL player or anything, but there's moments in your life where you redeem yourself, like we were talking about. A lot of those things, that movie in particular, I always see that movie and I'm like, man, because I've been to some low parts of my life and kind of redeem myself with some things.
You know what movie comes to mind when I think about you, Vince?
Dude,
what's that one movie that had? It's a musical. First of all, it's a classic.
The Greatest
That one
Showman.
movie.
I
Which
know.
one?
The Greatest Showman. I know.
No,
and it does remind me of myself.
Not The Greatest Showman. That one. You anybody that love?
Oh, Grease.
Grease?
Yeah, dude. He's John Travolta in Grease,
Okay.
right?
Maybe.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
walking around in his little leather. Hey, yeah, but did they? Yeah. You know?
He sings. Get all the women. I get it.
Oh, all right. It's a good one.
I can see that.
So there's like the personality that you might relate to. There's the scene that you might relate to. There's a storyline. I mean, I don't know that there's a movie that may perfectly fit anybody, but again, like there's those moments where, for me, like you think of a movie like Selena, where her dad is like, we're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans, and we're not American enough for the. I could relate to that because that's kind of. We would go to Mexico every year, where my dad was from, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's the American cousin,
white boy."
Yeah, and then you come over here, and they're like, "Well, there's the brown kids." There's, what I mean? It's like, where am I at? Which consequently, made me feel like I couldn't keep my hands in my pockets going into a store because I felt like somebody was thinking I was going to steal something all the time. Like,
Well, you were going to steal something. That's the problem, dude.
maybe. Yeah, there was a season of that. So, but then you think about, there's movies where like somebody loses somebody to cancer or something. Then I think about my dad, and it's like you have like all of these elements that I guess are what makes these movies special. These scenes, this series and stuff like that.
Speaking of movies, me and CJ and my father-in-law just went to go watch Gladiator 2 today.
Ooh, no spoilers, dude.
I'll just say
thumbs up.
I was really skeptical about going to watch it because the first one was so good.
Yeah.
I'm going to this one, but it's worth the watch.
Nice.
It is.
It's on my list.
Yeah. Can I just say one observation about it?
Is it going to ruin the movie for us?
No. My observation does not change how good the movie is.
Okay.
Well, I want to, ask Carlos. He hasn't seen it yet. I just don't think Denzel was right for that role.
Oh, dude, that ruins it.
It doesn't take
for me because I love Denzel.
It doesn't take away from the quality of the movie, the storyline, the impact, the depth, the emotion. It takes none of that away. My only thought is like Denzel is just Denzel in that movie. It doesn't seem like he's that character. It just seems like he's like the Training Day Denzel, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So I don't
That's
think
fair.
I don't think he knew how to do that role, and that's just I just don't think he did. But it doesn't take away from the movie. It doesn't take away at all. I was just scratching my head the whole time. Why did they pick him? Why did they pick him? But it's good.
I literally just watched the first Gladiator movie this weekend in preparation to
For
watch
the first time?
the second one.
No, but for the first time you just
No,
watched.
no.
Oh,
I've seen it like hundreds of times.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen the first one?
serious?
Oh,
Dude,
bro.
dude, you're a friggin' psycho.
That movie represents your
I don't watch
life, bro.
movies.
You're a girly man.
You guys know I don't watch movies.
Dude, watch that movie.
Yeah, please.
Everything to the
You watch movies.
soundtrack.
We all went and watched that golf movie because we talked.
Yeah, that's because it was an assignment, bro.
Well, this
A
is
long
an
game.
assignment. Don't watch Gladiator.
Assignment, bro. Right
Go
now.
watch Gladiator. Go cry a little. Feel like a man.
Grow a pair and go cry a little.
Or feel like less of a man with all the guys.
Everybody's so again, telling us to end this.
Dude, what's up, bro?
Come on, bro. What's going on?
Meet Joe, the tech head of the bunch.
I know. I was actually having issues with my stuff earlier today. I had to be late to a couple of important meetings because my tech wasn't working right.
Updates.
So
your
maybe the drones that we were talking about earlier will need an
Drones.
update soon and fall out of the sky.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's delivery trucks in the air, bro.
Dude,
They're dropping
I
packages.
they're already piloting other types of drones, right? So I can't remember where I was, what part of California, but I actually saw drone buggies like crossing the street. A drone buggy crossing the street to go deliver stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little different,
They
but
have those
kind of the same.
what are they called? Waymore vehicles in Phoenix, dude. The ones that are atomic self-driving cars that pick you up at the airport. Just hop in one. It opens the trunk back for you. Just throw in your luggage. Boom, takes you to your destination. No driver, no nothing. It's
Where's
insane.
this at?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Phoenix,
Uber.
Oh,
Arizona.
They have one at one of the malls here.
It's crazy.
That drives around.
Yeah, they have driverless Ubers in San Francisco quite a bit.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right, everyone. Well, make sure to go on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, give us your feedback, do all that good stuff. Share to your friends, families. We love you guys. We want to say what's up. Episode 20, Kings of Monaco, and we out.
Peace.
We are out.